Register today.
Welcome back to Community Crypto. This week, we are discussing how crypto can impact the Middle East. And I'm joined now by Fred Pye, CEO of 3iQ, and Zachary Cefaratti, founder and CEO at Dalma Capital. How you doing, fellas?
Great. Good to see you.
Hi, great. How are you?
Good to see you as well. And congratulations to you both. I know you were both able to, your companies bring the first crypto fund to the Middle East. And I would love to hear from you first, Fred. What was the process like for that to happen?
Well, it was very exciting. First of all, the launch was easily one of the most exciting events in Dubai. Zach and the team from Dalma and headquartered, we met with the most important investors who met with the entire crypto community. We met with everybody, and it all went off with great fanfare. But the work behind the scenes was took an awful lot of work. And it goes back to we in Canada became the first regulated Bitcoin fund in the world listed on a major exchange. And that was an extraordinary feat. It took 5 years, millions of dollars, and we litigated and we went to a public hearing to beat out the regulators. Now, Canada and Dubai, which a lot of people don't know, share a lot of great business relationships, businesses that are in both countries. And the regulation regimes in both countries are very similar, equally strict and very similar. But we knew that when we won in Canada, that Dubai is an extraordinary opportunity for us to test our thesis that we're going to bring the Bitcoin fund around the world 24 hours a day. But Dubai's trading hours are almost exactly opposite Canada's, and number one. And number two, they trade on Sunday. Their stock market's open on Sundays. So you can now buy Bitcoin 6 days a week, almost 24 hours a day, which is the exciting vision that we had.
Yes, and that time difference, difference in time, people don't realize that some of the small stuff that you have to put in there to make it work. Glad you said that, because it takes a lot, and those small things can make all the difference. So appreciate that. And Zachary, from your end, what was it like working on bringing the first Bitcoin ETF to Dubai?
Yeah, so we've been, I'm actually here in Dubai, so it's about 9:30 p.m. here. Excited to be joining you guys on the show quite late on our side, but we've been quite active in the crypto space for some time. We launched our first crypto hedge fund back in late 16, early 17, good timing. Have worked on a few deals since then. But what really got us excited when Fred approached us from 3iQ was we've been looking for a product that we could take to institutional investors in the region. And the region is dominated by very large institutional investors, organizations like the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, the Public Investment Fund. For those who don't know about sovereign wealth funds, what they have been doing is all of the oil wealth that the region has generated that couldn't be the excess wealth that couldn't be used towards the economy immediately was actually parked aside for future generations in sovereign wealth funds. These sovereign wealth funds have across them accumulated trillions of dollars. You have a number of other institutional investors. And throughout the region, you also have very large families, which also have a very institutional approach and mindset to their investing, meaning that they're very conservative. But when they do invest, they are very sticky money and they write large checks. So when Fred approached us with the opportunity to bring a product that would be suitable for the large institutional investors, for the more sophisticated family offices, to be able to participate in a product in this region, that was something that really got us excited. And the process was, we've been through a few processes before. I'd say, the most important part of the process was educating the regulator, educating the exchange, educating the market about crypto, about the dynamics of crypto, about the risks, and taking that forward through. And I think the market has received that very well, and has liked the fact that it hasn't been a salesy process. It's been very much about education, about people coming to understand it, and then deciding whether or not it's something that's right for them.
Oh yeah, and I love the fact that you said it's all about the money. It sticks when you get it with the institutional investors, because we all know whoever has the money, of course, once they invest, if they are conservative, they usually want a long-term play. So that's great to hear. And with that, I want to stay with you, Zachary. You were quoted as saying, in a lot of cases, if the banks found out they were sending money to cryptocurrency exchanges, they would actually close their accounts. So this is a huge shift and a huge change. And I want you to explain just very quickly why this is such a huge shift, specifically in Dubai and the Middle East.
Absolutely. This is something that Irina touched on in the program earlier. The banks in the region are extremely conservative. And they have significant concerns about the potential risks of money laundering that crypto places on their customers, and whether their customers might be using it for money laundering activities. So they've taken a very draconian view where basically anything crypto related that happens through most Middle East bank accounts, they just immediately shut it down. So what you've seen with investors here, they'll send a wire transfer to a major exchange like Coinbase, or you name it, Binance, anything with crypto in the name. We experienced this with some of our early crypto funds. The banks will hold the transaction, call up the customer, and say, do this again and we'll close your account. Or sometimes they just close the account immediately, and they cite that they have concerns about money laundering risk. And there is some validity to the concerns that some banks may have, but I think taking a completely draconian view and saying zero exposure to crypto has been difficult. Now, what this product has done is actually given banks in the region and the wholesale market a solution for clients to access crypto and to do it in a way that they know it can't be associated with money laundering. So basically, what this does is it gives the region an access product. It also gives bankers a way to sell Bitcoin and sell crypto-related instruments to their customers, because the other side is, at the end of the day, there is demand. There are investors here, whether they be Islamic or conventional, who want to buy Bitcoin. They want this in the portfolio, and they call up their banker and they say, can you get me exposure? They talk to their private banker and they say, I don't have a product that I can sell you. There's nothing on my platform that's sellable, because there's nothing listed on the local markets. There's nothing that's been approved here until this fund now. Then they call up their bank and they say, okay, just withdraw the money, send it to my Coinbase account. And then the bank says, sorry, we can't do that. If you do that, we're going to shut down your account because of money laundering risk. So now there isn't. So otherwise, people had to kind of play tricks on their banks, move money to their British account or move money to another account, then move it into Coinbase. It becomes very onerous. And obviously, there are risks for money with exchanges. One to Canada, where the Bitcoin fund and where 3IQ hails from, was Quadriga CX, which I think quite familiar with on this. If you're not, I encourage looking it up. But yeah, what this really enabled was an access product, a way for the region's investors, whether they be institutions or regular participants in the local financial markets, to be able to buy crypto, to be able to buy Bitcoin through their bank, and keep their bank comfortable that they're not facilitating money laundering, and that the AUM is not going outside of their bank and outside of their organization, a product that they can sell through their RMs and through their distribution channels, which obviously is an important part of the wholesale banking market.
Oh, yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned AUM, assets under management. Banks need that in order to see how profitable they are, and if it's leaving, doesn't really help them much, right? So, Fred, I want to ask you, if this is the base layer, as sort of an institutional investment product, could you see in the future maybe a product from your company that will include self-custody?
No, and again, and the reason being is a typical institution or an investor will not go through the rigmarole that's required to set up custody and put themselves in a position where you could end up with a wallet at a company like Quadriga CX, where the the owner passes away and they all lose their passwords. So it's definitely, it's definitely people come to us because we have the regulated platform to do this, and they can feel the safety and security.
We have to wrap right there. I appreciate you both for coming on the show. Love learning about the institutional investment side in the Middle East with you fellas. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
That's it for this edition of Community Crypto. The Middle East is the next stop of Crypto State by CoinDesk, a virtual event series that aims to connect with local communities of investors and developers in international markets as we tell the global story of the future of money. That's happening on August 11th, so be sure to sign up right now on coindesk.com/cryptostate.